Alright folks, please watch your hands, arms, feet, and legs. Those doors on the right are closing.
Traveling bears essentially wanting to be bolted together and screwed together and having their areas attached and so forth. And at the end of this line, this skeleton.
Driver, doors closed, all clear!
Sante Sauna Warden. And now folks, as we like to say here in Harambe, Twende, let's go. Well, Jumbo everyone, and welcome to the Kilimanjaro Safaris. I'm Brady, your safari guide on this journey through the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. As a reminder, please remain seated at all times throughout the whole safari and keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the vehicle at all times. Absolutely no standing up, swapping seats, or raising little ones up in the air, please. For those of you who are taking pictures with your phones or digital cameras, hold on to those securely and have them ready to go when taking pictures, please. I also ask during the safari that you please try to keep your voices down to a tad bit of a minimum. You can still talk a normal volume, but not too loud, because some of the animals we'll see on this safari can easily be spooked by loud noises. And lastly, if you have any questions about the animals we'll see on this safari, feel free to let me know and I'll try to answer those to the best of my ability. Now our first stop is here in the Little Ituri Forest. Here we will find some of Africa's more docile and well-camouflaged animals. For instance, over here on the right we have a pair of okapi. The one on the far left is a baby. Now despite that zebra-like pattern on the okapi, they are more closely related to giraffes. They also have a prehensile tongue like a giraffe, which allows them to grab leaves in high places. Now, while we're slowly making our way through the forest here, if you look above your heads, you will see the animal spotting guide that does tell all the animals that are here on the reserve. It is a bit out of date, and I can't guarantee we will see all the animals on there. We'll try to, though. I mean, it's up to them when they show up. Be sure to keep your eyes open, folks. Like I said, this is perfect habitat for animals to use their camouflage. Ooh, hello. Now, folks, walking right in front of us on the road here is a saddle-billed stork. The reason it has that name is because the all portion of its bill is shaped like a saddle. It also has a wingspan of up to 9 feet, which is about the same width as the canopy of this truck.
That's the first.
Looks like the stork is grabbing some branches for the nest. Now, coming up straight ahead, we're about to see some greater kudu. Those white stripes on their body allow them to blend in with the forest background. And while the males of the species do have horns, the females do not. Now I see another south-old stork coming up straight ahead, but also coming up over here on the left, we will see some bongo antelope. Bongo is also known as the ghosts of the forest because they are rarely seen within the wild. Their horns are also bent back a bit, which allow them to go through the underbrush of the forest.
Thanks, Jessica, for the following. Fun. I bet you want to come back now, don't you? That's why I moved here. I used to come visit Disney yearly, and then 3 years ago I moved here.
Our next stop is in the Safi River. Here we will find some of Africa's more aquatic animals. Coming up ahead along this river, we can see some pink-backed pelicans. The reason they have that name is because their backs will turn to a slight color of pink during mating season. The males will use that pink color to help attract females. They're also known to be colonial breeders, meaning that they'll breed in very large groups that can reach up to 500 individual birds. Also, if you look right in the water there is a Nile hippo. There's also some more of them over here on the left as well. Now, hippos will spend most of their day underwater, in which they will come up for a breath of fresh air every 8 minutes. And although hippos are able to swim through water, they really prefer not to. They will instead walk along the bottom of the water to get through. And despite their size, they can move pretty fast through water.
Safari ride is one of my favorites here.
Now, as we are about to come across this bridge up ahead, on the left are Nile crocodiles. At least 2 of them right out of the water there.
These are always hard to see.
exactly right. Crocs are the oldest living reptile
In
on
the
the planet.
summer, they're usually like hanging
Now,
out by
Nile
the
crocs
bridge
are the
more.
largest species of crocodilians in Africa, reaching up to an average length of 16 feet and weighing up to 500 pounds. Also, one of the ways you can tell the difference between crocodiles and alligators is while crocodiles have a V shape snout, alligators have a U shape. So next time you see what you might think is either a crocodile or an alligator, please use that difference to tell which is which.
There comes the little
One of them will
tree of life.
see you after a while.
And now, folks, we're about to enter into the savanna section of the reserve. Here we will find many animals that are well known in Africa. The savanna is also home to many migrating species. Now, one of the first animals that we are about to see. Now, one of the first animals that we are about to see out here.
Yeah, this is a really long ride, which is, I like riding this because, you know, spend all the time in line. At least you're on this one for a while.
Now coming up ahead here on the left, there are a couple of them that are laying down to the left of that den there, are African painted dogs. The reason they have that
Thanks,
name is
Chris.
because of their painted coats, and they are one of the most successful pack hunters in the world, with their packs going from 5 to 15 in number. There's also another one that's laying down in that corner there as well. Now, despite their look, they are not related to hyenas. Hyenas aren't related to dogs, they got their own family known as Hyena Day. Now, these large mound-like structures that we're approaching are African termite mounds. African termites will construct these from soil, saliva, and dung. You gotta admit, though, they are quite the craftsmen because these mounds can hold up to millions of termites. And they'll become as hard as concrete after baking out in the sun for a few days. Now, over here
Nice,
on
babe.
the
Go
left,
bump
you can
into you.
see some Hartman's mountain zebra. What distinguishes them from other species of zebra is that their stripes will not go full around the belly. Speaking of stripes, it is completely different for each individual zebra, like a fingerprint. I could try and catch it, move up.
Yeah,
a
the
bit
line
here, 'cause
said
I see
25
another animal
minutes, but
moving
it felt
ahead,
like
they're
more,
going
it
to
was
be
just like
disappearing
10
into the
minutes,
bushes
so
here in
it
a
didn't wait
second.
very
Try to
long.
catch them before they, well, shoot. Looks like they just vanished on us. Well, if you did see them go into those bushes, those were wildebeest. What was that? Oh, actually, there's a one that's moving about right over here in the distance. If you look past those trees there. Wildebeest are also known
it's kinda
as
hard to see.
new, because whenever they grunt, they make a new sound. That's G-N-U. New. When it comes to wildebeest herds, they can reach up to 1.5 million in number. Herds
Got some
that big are
zebras over
normally
here.
migratory herds in which wildebeest will migrate over the savanna from 500 to 1,000 miles.
Yeah, the animals were really active this
Now,
morning.
right up ahead of us here are sable antelope, the official emblem of the Harambe Reserve. When it comes to the fight or flight situation for these antelope, they will fight. Yeah, even if a lion shows up, they won't back down. And I ain't lying. And speaking of antelope, there's also another species that's way out there in the distance, right under that tall tree. You'll see them laying down there. Those are springbok. Springbok are one of the smallest species of antelope on the planet, and they can jump up 6 feet high and 13 feet across,
Those are kinda hard to
while
see.
running
They're
from
kinda
40
far
to
away.
50 miles per hour.
Thanks, Abby, for following. No, I'm at Disney's Animal Kingdom in Orlando.
Now over here in the trees on the left, we have Maasai giraffe. Now, what distinguishes them from other species of giraffe is that their patterns are a bit more jagged than squared, and are kind of shaped like autumn leaves. Also, whenever a baby giraffe is born, they can be born up to 6 feet high and end up growing up to 20 feet tall.
I'm sure we'll see more giraffes.
Right now, I'm just glad we didn't have any
active.
giraffe while we were out here, which happens all the time. Now, I got a funny feeling we'll want to keep our eyes open up on the road ahead because we are about to enter into elephant country. And we're in luck because there's an elephant straight ahead.
Oh, didn't see the elephants last time I was here.
By the looks of it, it's definitely a bull elephant. Now, African elephants are best distinguished by their ears, which are nearly
That's
shaped
a
as the
big boy.
continent of Africa. And unfortunately, they are one of the main endangered species in the wild due to being poached for their ivory tusks and habitat loss. Now, the reason habitat loss is a factor in their endangerment is because with so many new farms, buildings, and even due to cobalt mining, those elephants are losing a lot of their habitat. That unfortunately causes them to invade those newly developed areas and cause quite a bit of damage. And that's why, and you probably heard about this as you're going through the wait line today, about the Elephant and Beast Project, where conservationists create what we call bee fences to keep the elephants away from those areas. Basically, the Beast Project, where conservationists create what we call bee fences to keep the elephants away from those areas. Basically, just like how an elephant is somewhat afraid of a mouse, they are more or less afraid of bees. Now, we'll see if we're able to find some more elephants up ahead. Also, as a little reminder, since we have now reached the halfway point in our safari, again, if you haven't had
Thanks
any
for the
further
follow,
questions
guys.
about the animals we've seen so far, we'll see up ahead. Feel free to let me know.
Today's official sponsor is AT&T. But for no lie, AT&T really works best out here. I used to have Verizon.
Now, as we
Not
are about to
Verizon, but I
come
used to
under
have
this
T-Mobile,
bridge,
and
directly
it
under
barely
it,
worked
on
in
both sides of the
parts.
road, are red clay pits. And a very interesting fact about red clay, you can actually see over here on the right on this wall, there are tusk marks there. The reason for that is because the elephants will eat the red clay. They use it as a vitamin and mineral source, kind of like salt lick for cattle or horses. And I do see quite a few elephants up ahead. By the looks of it, it's definitely a matriarch herd. You got a better look at them as we go
Yeah,
around the corner
fun.
here in a moment. Now, when it comes to elephant herds, they are mostly matriarchal groups in which the eldest female would be in charge, while the adult males will stick up
Thanks
in
for the
bachelor
follow.
herds.
There's some more elephants.
We're in luck. I think if I see it correctly. Yeah, there she is. Look, just past a couple of these elephants, folks, you'll see a baby out there. I'll try to get a better view here in a second.
Oh, I see the baby. I don't know if you guys can see it.
Right about there.
There's the baby.
Yeah, she's the newest addition here at the reserve, and she's about 4 months
the
old
tree's in
now.
the way.
She'll get bigger over the next few months, but still she's small enough to have plenty of spaces to hide around here.
I don't know if you guys saw the
While we're
baby or
moving about
not.
here, I also like to point out these very large trees
There
that are
she is.
nearby. These are known as baobab trees, or the upside down trees. The reason they have that name is because their branches are nearly shaped like the roots of a tree. They will also stay leafless up to 9 months of the year. Now, coming up in this
flamingo.
pond, we're about to see some greater flamingos. They are the largest and most lightly colored species of the flamingo family. As to how they get that pink color, they get it from a type of shrimp they eat known as brine shrimp. Those brine shrimp contain a chemical known as beta-carotene, which helps give these flamingos their pink color. And the more brine shrimp that they consume, the more pink they will get.
We're at Disney's Animal Kingdom.
Now we are about to see one of my favorite animals of the savannah, the white rhinos.
Oh, these guys are cool. I remember last year they had, or the year before they had
Now,
a
white
new
rhinos
baby.
are also known as square or wide-lipped rhinos because they have that square or wide-shaped lip. And unfortunately, they are one of the main endangered species in the wild due to being poached for their horns, which many civilizations believe to be a great medicinal source. But in plain reality, it's not. It's made of a substance known as keratin, which is the same material as our hair and fingernails.
It'll wake you
I'd
up.
also like to point out this mud wallow that's right that the rhinos are by. Those rhinos will use mud wallows like that to help themselves keep cool during the hottest times of the day. The mud serves as kind of like a sunscreen to them to help protect their skin from the rays of the sun. Now coming up over here in the left lane down is the fastest land mammal on the planet, the cheetah. See it right there in that shaded area there with its head propped up.
Oh, there he is.
Right to the left of those trees you'll see it. Now cheetahs can run up to 60 miles per hour. And if you manage to notice the black vertical lines under their eyes, if not, you can look at the safari guide above your heads. Cheetahs will use those patterns to help see past the glare of the savannah, allowing them to hunt more efficiently in the wild. Oh, and there it is, the African lion.
Oh, there he is. Where's the lion?
Oh, and there's a male coming up ahead as well. Now, African lions can sleep or rest up to 20 hours a day. And while the females of the pride will go off hunting, the males will stay behind
so hard
and
to see.
protect the
There he
rest
is.
of the pride. That's why that mane of his serves as a perfect shield.
That's a pretty big boy. Yeah, last couple weeks ago I was here. I didn't
Now,
see the
coming
lions
up
either.
ahead
They were
here on
hiding,
the
so it was
left,
nice to
we
see
are
them.
about to see some warthogs.
Yeah, we're in Florida.
Now, folks, again, we must be fully seated at all times. Please remain seated at all times, please. Thank you. Now, warthogs are one of the largest species of burrowing animal on the planet. And the reason why is because they'll use those large tusks of theirs to burrow into the ground. Warthogs are also known to be one of nature's recyclers because often a warthog will take over the burrow of another warthog who recently left there. Now, over here on the right are a trio of female ostriches. Ostriches are the largest species of bird on the planet, and even though they're a flightless species, they'll still use those wings of theirs to help them steer whenever they are running. And speaking of ostriches, if you look very carefully over here on the right on the ground, you will notice a clutch of ostrich eggs. Ostrich eggs are the largest form of egg on the planet, and they are durable than most other eggs, meaning they cannot be broken so easily.
Those eggs have been there for years, by the way.
And now we have entered the last section of the reserve, the Magani Glen. And we're just about to pass the warden's post here where the warden of this reserve maintains and protects all the animals here.
I don't see the goats.
He
this
does
morning.
get a little lonely out here though, that's why he has his own
Oh.
small herd of Nigerian dwarf goats.
There's usually a whole
Now
bunch
these
of
goats are a
here.
miniature
I
species
only
of goat
see
from West Africa.
3.
They have been domesticated and can now be found all over the world. Uh-oh. There goes the warden's shirt. Yeah, they're cute, but they can be a hazard on your clothes.
Usually there's a lot more goats. There's only 3 this time. I think last year I remember there being like 15, 20 or so there.
And now, as we are about to come to the end of our safari, I'd like to mention a few more of the animal encounters you can experience here at Animal Kingdom. For instance, just as you exit the safari, off to the right a bit of ways is the entrance to the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail. There you can get a more up-close look at okapi and hippos, see some of Africa's most exotic bird species in the aviary, and of course, see some western lowland gorillas, learning more about them and their conservation. Also, one way even you can support conservation here at Animal Kingdom is by rounding up to the next dollar at your next merchandise purchase. That contribution would go to Disney Conservation Fund, which has hundreds of conservation projects around the world. Now, folks, if I am to have any wilderness explorers on board, you have been on the Simba 1. Repeat, that is Simba 1. To get your safari badge, you'll just head down the pathway looking for a cast member with an orange bag near a sign that says Wild Africa Trek. You'll be able to earn your safari badge. Alright folks, please watch your hands, arms, feet, and legs. Those doors on the right are opening. Hope you all enjoyed your safari here today, and I hope you